prepared yet.
You need to try and pick off the units as... Look at the shields on the Martin.
Oh my god, the drone's gonna take them!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Metalopolis, the city that never sleeps because it's just covered in creep all the time. And as you can see, IdrA is making a mess of things. The roof of this building is probably unsalvageable right now.
And the same likewise up here for Nerchio in the north location.
How dare he? Incredibly inconsiderate. Whatever the case, we have Nerchio in the blue trunks. He is to the north, and he is playing Zerg. He's actually from Team Empire, if you want to know, and you certainly should. Empire, a fantastic team. Very powerful players. Versus his opponent from Team Evil Geniuses, the one and only IdrA. He is in the green trunks, and he is playing Zerg.
Equally as powerful team, EG.
Very scary.
Best North American team. Arguably one of the best outside of Korea.
Yep.
So, Clash of the Titans, as said, and it's going to be a cool map, this one, I think. They spawn cross-location, as you can see. The expands moving away from each other, and this is really going to test Nerchio's skill. His first game was a little bit fast, which means, you know, people can win fast games against IdrA, but can Nerchio go the distance? Yeah,
going into a big, long slugfest macro game against IdrA, that is terrifying when you think about it. Really, really scary.
Indeed, nightmares.
Absolutely.
And we'll have to see, is anybody going to go hatch first? And they are. This is not close position, so both players know that they're not close by air now. So they know they're cross position, so we might see hatch first. Or actually, Nerchio's going to go spawning pool first. Okay.
Yep, I would expect a hatchery first from IdrA, considering the timing. There you go. And this is pretty commonplace from IdrA, you know, fairly confident opening right there. Spawning pool first, considering the distant positions. Why on earth would you do that?
Because he hasn't scouted yet. IdrA could be on tilt, you know, he's got this emotional in control, so he could be doing some fast pulls, so it's just safer to get spawning pool first. And if you are confident in your style, you're confident in your late game, you can go spawning pool first and be safe against early aggression while maintaining a high level standard into the later stages.
Yeah, I really, really liked your Freudian slip, by the way, and it's got this emotional in control. Right, I see. Oh, well. And In Control's probably standing behind him right now, coaching him and giving him back rubs. He's been known to do that.
Back rubs are pretty good, especially because being a StarCraft player, you're always like hunch back.
Yeah, I have a feeling that a back rub from In Control would probably break your spine, so I don't know. Unless IdrA wants to be an overlord for the rest of his life, I'm thinking that's probably not the best idea.
Maybe he can take someone else. Maybe. Oh, actually, IdrA's like surrounded by big guys. Like Machine's a big guy.
Yeah,
too.
he is. He's actually very scary. In fact, I've actually heard rumors that right now In Control is actually bench pressing IdrA at this point while playing. So that actually speaks volumes to IdrA's skill and APM.
Well, if Chef can play with a keyboard on his lap, IdrA can play while being bench pressed.
Yes, indeed. That's just how good he is, folks. Nerchio coming up right here with his expansion a little bit later than his opponent, needless to say. Speedling upgrade is on the way for Nerchio, and no sign of that whatsoever yet for IdrA, who is holding off on it for the time being. Gas is on its way, so he could follow up with this very, very rapidly indeed. In come the Zerglings, and some scouting information is acquired. A little bit of a micro battle going on right here, and Nerchio with the initial engagement gets the first hits off, but actually IdrA with an excellent defense and nails down pretty much everything, and that's mutually assured destruction right there.
Yeah, 1-1, but IdrA having all the HP left on that one link.
Yep, it's always nice.
Meanwhile, Nerchio's still having 2 in gas, building up quite a lot of gas at the moment. We'll have to see what he's going to plan to do that. He might throw down a Roach Warren soon, or maybe an early Evo chamber, I'm not sure, but we'll have to follow that, because I'm pretty sure Nerchio's not going to be making too many mistakes, especially at this level.
Nerchio doesn't make mistakes when it comes to his builds. It just doesn't happen. If he's got 2 in gas, he's got 2 in gas for a reason. And we're about to find out exactly what that is.
Yeah,
there is a Roach Warren. Yeah, that's probably why then. Yeah, the thing is, he times his builds out so well. Everything he does is for a reason. Like, for instance, his build, which is the +1 melee, into the Infestors, into the Broodlords, is perfectly timed in PvZ and PvT. So, it's kind of crazy like that.
And IdrA's got a Baneling nest down. It's not too far away from finishing. 10 links in production, though. I'm not sure if this is the best decision in the world. Did he scout? He had a link inside Nerchio's base, but did he scout the Roach Warren? No, he didn't.
He hasn't seen the Roach Warren yet.
This is good for IdrA for the circumstances he's in. He doesn't know about the Roach Warren. If he had, he wouldn't have gone for it.
Yep.
And
he can certainly use them defensively. I mean, it's not a massive loss, even
Yeah.
if he ends up going up against a bunch of roaches, especially with these Zerglings moving in. He can certainly pick off some scouting Zerglings, get a good interception right here. And looking for the surround, and Nerchio is able to do just that. Admittedly, he has to watch out for the Banelings. A second engagement going there. They're just sort of scratching at each other's eyes as detonation. And what a detonation it was as well. What a cleanup.
Yeah, that was really nice. Defensive Banelings, really good. And IdrA did do that in defensive man. I guess he can be a little bit more aggressive now because he knows the unit count is pretty low. Nice micro there by IdrA, saving both of those drones. And now we have IdrA pushing out with a lot of links, 2 Banelings as well. But what does Nerchio have? He's all 5 roaches in production. Going to really shut this down quite fast.
Yeah, he should be able to do just that. He's morphing in Banelings without knowing whether or not his opponent's got roaches, which is not a particularly good idea. Now he's seen it. And will he cancel the Banelings?
Well, the Banelings are in a defensive state. They're in those naturals, so he can keep them there for any run-bys by Lings or anything. And IdrA just decides to pull back. Where is he going to go with these roaches? I mean, where are these Lings? Okay, the Lings are going around the back. I guess he could poke around, but meanwhile, we do have IdrA with his own roach swarm about to finish up. Going for the second gas and Evo chamber being put down as well.
It's looking reasonable for IdrA right now. He's certainly in a good situation economically. I mean, it's 41 drones to 27.
Oh, wow.
Banelings morphing in right now. This could be very damaging. And hey, it's a freebie. Why not? IdrA smashes and grabs. And the question is, will he see the Banelings? He does not. Nerchio has no idea about those Banelings in the corner. This could be economically devastating.
Yeah, I mean, if IdrA baits the roaches out and distracts Nerchio, like here he go. Okay, he's moving down. Maybe he can bait this. Okay.
He's looking for it. That's exactly what he's looking to do. He's baiting it out. Unfortunately, Nerchio's not going to take it. He's moving in for an interception right now. Pulls everything off the line. How much damage is Benny's going to do? 1, 2, and... Oh my god, he only took No, he lost 1 drone.
Oh, wow. Okay.
2 of those 3 Banelings were sniped off before they did any damage at all. So Nerchio is fine right now. He's actually catching up quite nicely in terms of his drone count. Building quite a few more. Mass droning coming in for IdrA, however. He's building another 11 and is taking his 3rd.
Yeah, he needs to get into that gas ASAP. And he's taking that very early 3rd base. I mean, how is Nerchio going to react to this? He can either take a base of his own now, or he can go ahead and attack. And oh, look at that, very smart. He's actually going to go ahead and take the gold base.
That is interesting, but not uncommon for Nerchio, honestly. Nerchio likes to take the gold base on the Metalopolis in a lot of different matchups, and usually it's because he doesn't need to throw as many drones at it, since obviously it's got less patches, it's more efficient to mine from there, so he can have a larger army. Admittedly, he doesn't tend to take it this early, considering he's on 84 supply right now, but there's nothing necessarily wrong with it.
And IdrA very smart, scouting both 3rd base locations, the north one and the gold, seeing that the base has been put down there, which is very smart from IdrA. And now we have Lair, not too far away from finishing from IdrA, a little bit behind from Nerchio. Look at the unit count now, pretty much equal, 56 drones versus 54. And roach count 11 versus 13, 11 for IdrA. And a lot of units being made still for IdrA, another 8 roaches out. And there's a lot of timing still that Nerchio could hit that are very aggressive ones. So that's why probably IdrA's getting a lot of roaches out, wants to play defensive. He has a good drone count, but needs to be going to that 3rd base soon. I mean, he hasn't taken the gases again. You need to be taking gases like immediately. As soon as you expand, you need extractors.
IdrA's actually rolling out, and it looks like he's going to start to apply pressure to this gold base. And I have a feeling he's got the count for it. He's looking at 20 roaches versus 13. I'm not entirely sure if Nerchio can hold this, honestly. In fact, I'm almost certain he can't, especially with such a large disparity between the roaches. In fact, he's leaving. And he's going to be forced into a cancel situation right here. He can't allow the complete... He was so close as well.
Wow, I can't believe he cancelled that. I thought maybe he could have streamed in units, but okay.
He didn't have the count. I think his decision maker was right there. He would have lost it one way or the other, and he would have thrown away units in the process.
What is going on there with those units?
It's mostly a party, honestly. I think that's all I can really...
Oops.
Either that or he's chastising the drones. I don't know what's going on right there at all. You see they're sort of dancing around as he goes back and forth? I don't even know. Whatever the case, Infestation Pit is now complete for IdrA, and it's been complete for Nerchio for quite some time.
And while that was going on and IdrA's moving out, there was a counterattack with Lings onto the 3rd base, but was pushed away by a defensive bailing from IdrA. The Lings then went into the main base of IdrA, did snipe 1 or 2 drones, but nothing too big. IdrA in a great lead right now with this 3rd base up and running. And now, great play by Nerchio to go ahead and take a 4th base.
He's looking for it, and he should be able to secure this gold this time around, I would think, with 27 roaches. He's still up against 31, so it's a little bit tense. The up-raid count, however, is actually in favor of Nerchio, since he's got a good 50-second lead on missile attack level 2. So any kind of engagement over the next minute or so for IdrA will be a little bit risky.
God, he's just trying to push it again. I mean, Panathen Glands has been researched, Infestors are coming out. Looks like it's a little bit more favoured to Panathen Glands this time.
Yes.
Might pop out. And IdrA scouting the 4th base, very smart with that Overlord. Sees that 2 bases have been taken at once.
Yeah. I think his timing is right this time. It certainly looks like it at any rate. If he screws it up this time, then he's going to be very, very unhappy.
Oh, yeah.
That I can guarantee. And we will check into the process just to make sure. It's just, hey, it's something to talk about. Hydralisk then coming down right here for IdrA as well. Interesting stuff.
Well, he's at 160 supply now, so he can kind of fill up the rest of his army with Hydras. They have great DPS. If you have a good amount of Roaches to tank, Hydra's just great. The longer they survive, the more damage they're going to do. So that's really good for IdrA. Though he doesn't want to be too heavy on Hydras. I mean, usually you see players going for Hydras a lot later on, want to get the Infestor count up faster. But we'll have to see how that works out for him.
Well, Hydralisks, I assume, are extremely vulnerable to fungal growth, considering their low HP.
Yeah, I mean, the Infestors do more damage versus Roaches because they do more damage versus Arbor now. But still, if the Roach count goes down from these Infestors, then the Hydras are going to be left exposed.
Indeed, that would be unpleasant. So right now, IdrA sitting on 4. That is, in fact, not 4. It's actually 5 for his Infestor count. 36 Roaches right now. So it's pretty much equal in terms of the army count. The economies of both are pretty equal as well. So as we can see, Nerchio rolling out to try and do some damage. Now that will be scouted with the fast Overlord right here. All over the map right here. Lots of spread all over the place. Difficult to keep track, certainly. A little bit of engagement going on. There's a few scouting watchers. That was actually very smart play by Nerchio because he sniped off an Infestor in the process. And there's a big fungal. It's big fungal on both sides. I think it's actually in favor of Nerchio right now. Very difficult to tell. Everything is covered in horrible, horrible moss. What can I say? Infested Terrans coming into the middle as well, just to make a mess of things. The Hydra's chewing through Nerchio's forces, however, and IdrA is going to be able to hold this.
Yeah, but really smart play by Nerchio. As he was losing that fight, he just went ahead and sniped all the Infestors, which is really important. They're so gas intensive. All these Roaches are so low in health, though, he's going to have to get Borra soon to actually repair them.
Yeah, the Infestor difference is huge. Look at that, 7 Infestors to 1 as a result of sniping those off.
Look at the resource balance now, 1600 to 80. Nerchio taking a 4th base very fast, is mining gas from it, and look at that. His resource is so much more aligned to his plan, and unfortunately for IdrA, it's just happening again, just like the first game. He's not getting extractors fast enough. His minerals are too high. He's got too many drones mining minerals rather than gas, and that could be his downfall in this game.
Yeah, he's not able to spend that money, which is hardly a good thing. I mean, it's hardly a good thing for any player, and this is really problematic. It's gone over 2,000 now, and you have to wonder, what is he going to spend it on?
Nothing apart from more hatcheries, I suppose. The upgrades is going to go in favor of Nerchio now because he's got more gas. He's researching that +1 armor. He's getting more Infestors. We actually see a Spore Crawler in production now for IdrA on that 4th base, and that's just to deny any borrowed Roaches to come ahead and fungal growth or infested Terrans.
Infestors, of course, yeah.
Great harassment.
I also happen to notice there is a hive going down right here for Nerchio.
And no, IdrA has... Okay, the Overlord's moving in, maybe.
Yep, he should be able to scout this. Why is he not moving? Why is he not moving? Oh dear. IdrA hasn't moved in quite enough to scout that hive. He just needs to move 1 millimeter north. Just 1. That's all he needs to do.
And now IdrA's adding a lot of Hydras actually to this army composition, especially with +2. That's 14 damage, going to be able to do a lot, and they actually fire so fast. They're going to be able to do a lot of damage. Roach is caught down here. Do Borra disappear?
No Overseer in play right now for Nerchio. He is building one immediately. It's a shame if he had one there, he could have got some good kills. In the meantime, IdrA coming in for the attack and immediately gets the first salvo off, but that's a lot of Infestors. Huge number, and they're already pretty badly injured to begin with, so the Roach count is starting to melt. If they eat more fungals in the front, then those Hydralisks are going to be very, very exposed indeed. Another fungal goes down. It is a very big fungal. It's a giant fungal. Oh my, oh my. And here come the reinforcements, but some great fungals from IdrA as well, who's able to hold the line. Those Hydras are chewing through Nerchio's Roaches. He has to break this now, otherwise he will lose this fight, and of course then lose the Infestors as a direct result of that. Looks like he's got to leave immediately, and mutually assured destruction pretty much.
Yeah, IdrA lost a lot of Infestors again. He lost a lot of Hydras, a lot of gas was misspent, and now 44 Roaches in production from IdrA, 28, and a Great Aspire now.
He hasn't moved the Overlord. He hasn't moved it. He doesn't know. He has no idea the high-tech is coming because he hasn't moved about 1 centimeter to the north. You can see it right there. The hive is up. He thinks it's a lair, and that is going to be a huge problem if he continues like this.
Yeah, I mean, if he'd scouted that, he could just add on a Spire of his own and just build a bunch of Corruptors. Doesn't even need to go to hive. But that could be a problem. But for now, IdrA's got a large account of roaches, but not so many infestors, and Nerchio has an infestor count.
Big pressure coming in right now, and the infestors will make the difference. His entire army just ate a fungal growth right there. That was unpleasant, and Nerchio continued to power his way through there. Does he have the firepower that he needs? The roaches are equally upgraded. He needs another fungal growth in the middle there, and it's a good one. It lands, and the roach count just disappeared in a nanosecond.
And IdrA, has he got enough to push through here, though? It's very close. He might lose some infestors, borrowed infestors to get rid of them. Where are the reinforcements?
Oh dear, yeah, he's going to need reinforcements immediately. IdrA is actually building 10 infestors right now, which will certainly help him out an awful lot. Has he scouted the hive yet? My god, he hasn't scouted the hive yet.
It's problematic.
You think? Yeah, that's going to be a real problem. There's 4 corruptors on the way right now, and he has nothing to shut down broodlord attacks. There's like 4 hydras, if that, which is not enough.
No, that's definitely not enough. And he doesn't have neuroparasite or anything like that, so...
This is
7 corruptors in production.
Yeah, it really is, honestly.
A lot of gas saved up.
Yeah, the economies of both. I mean, IdrA's got a slight lead in terms of his economy, but as you said, he's not managing it all that well. He's got a ton of money that he can't spend because he doesn't have the gas count to do all these kind of reinforcements, especially considering he built 10 infestors at once. I am now very worried for IdrA, if I'm totally honest. He's seen Corruptors coming in, and he doesn't really know what that means by the looks of it. He's not adding on a Spire of his own, thinking, oh god, it's Broodlords. He hasn't seen...
He might go for a timing attack, thinking that Broodlords aren't out yet, but,
I don't think he knows about it. I really do not think he knows about it, honestly. He will see it, and when he does, he is going to be in big trouble. If he knew it was coming, he would bring out some Hydralisks, surely. He would at least try and start a Spire. He doesn't know. He hasn't seen this hive. He hasn't moved in, and this is going to be the critical point. That's massive fungus landed on Nerchio's forces right there, although IdrA is taking some ruthless damage, and in come the Broodlords, and there he goes again on his own.
Wow.
Down the only road he's ever known. Oh my, that is a little unpleasant, is it not?
Not scouting the hive just by an inch with that Overlord, not being able to scout the Broodlords. If he had, he would have been able to adapt easily. And the scouting area there from IdrA causing the loss there. But I think more importantly is just the resource balance. Like 5,200 compared to 500 minerals of Nerchio's.
He just can't spend his money. He's mining too many minerals, and as you said before, he's not got enough gas to do what he wants to do.
Yeah.
So his macro was all over the place, and Nerchio, as I said before, Nerchio is known for his perfect builds, and his macro is exceptional, so you should never underestimate that kind of skill. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching the IGN Pro League Season 2, and it is currently 2-0 in this Best of 5 series. Nerchio versus IdrA. Can he take the clean sweep? It's certainly looking very likely right now. We'll find out as to whether or not IdrA can get back in the game right after this.